So one of the most important parts of serving with children is communication. So what do you do when the children you serve are nonverbal? Well, today we're going to talk to the experts. Wow, this place is loud. Everywhere you turn, someone is talking. There's loud talkers, soft talkers, oversharers, undersharers. There's those who talk with their hands, and even those who talk with their whole body. But everywhere you look, people are communicating through talking. Do you ever stop to think about what life would be like if you couldn't talk? Or what if your child were nonverbal? How would others know what he needs? And if your child were nonverbal, what exactly would you want other people to know? Well, for many parents, these are questions they ask themselves every day because they have a child who is nonverbal, minimally verbal, or has a speech delay. So we ask them, what exactly do you want other people to know? Turns out, when it comes to learning how to serve children who are nonverbal, well, we have a lot to talk about. Serving students who are nonverbal at church, what parents want you to know. The first thing that parents would like you to know is this. Nonverbal does not mean non-communication. Just because a person is unable to speak does not mean that he doesn't understand what you're saying. So don't talk about him in front of him as if he weren't there. Talk to him the same way you talk to other students. Be friendly and speak directly to him. Wait for his nonverbal response and then continue engaging. Remember, communication comes in many forms, not just speech. The second thing that parents want you to know is ask questions. Parents want people to be able to communicate with their children, and this means that they know you're going to have questions. Every nonverbal child is different, so gathering information is the only way to learn how to communicate with them. Information can be gathered in a conversation at drop-off or in a document ahead of time. Either way, here's some of what you want to ask. How does your child communicate? Does he sign, gesture, vocalize, or does he have a communication device? If he does have a device, there are a lot more things you want to know, like what kind of support does your child need with his device? Does he need help carrying it? Does he need prompting? Is your child proficient with his device, or is he still learning how to use it? And what kinds of things does your child communicate with it? If the device is electronic, you're going to want to make sure to ask, what do I do if the screen locks up? Also ask for a quick tutorial on how to use it. And finally, is there anything else we should know? This may seem like a lot of questions. You may think that a parent may not want to answer them all, but stop and think about it for a second. Communication devices are a child's voice. If a few questions were the difference between a caregiver understanding your child's needs or your child's needs being left unattended, wouldn't you want them to ask the questions? So does your student's parents. And don't worry if you can't remember all these questions because we have them listed for you in our talking points for this video. Now, if a child does not have a device, you can still help with communication by making a simple picture board that he can point to when prompted. You want to include some practical prompts such as restroom or water, but also include pictures that relate to your classroom like prayer, and of course, the right answer to every church question, Jesus. The third thing that parents want you to know is this. Invite others in. Just because a child cannot speak does not mean he doesn't want to be included. Remind his peers that he'd like to play too. You can say something like, he loves puzzles too, can he join? This will give you a natural opportunity to educate others on how to communicate with your student, and it can be a great way to help forge friendships. But also remember that every child is different. Some love socializing and others prefer to have space. So look for nonverbal cues to see how your student is responding. Respect his preference and always be ready to advocate for his needs to others. Well, I think we have a better understanding of what parents of children who are nonverbal may want you to know. But there's one more thing before you go. Remember in the beginning when we talked about all the talking? Well, no matter how you communicate, stop and think about a time when someone didn't understand you. How did that feel? Now think about a time when someone took the time to learn how to understand you better, or they learned how to understand your child better. Did that mean something to you? What difference did it make? Now ask yourself, Could you be that difference maker for someone else? Thanks for joining us. See you next time.